Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. LSU in the market for defensive tackles. We are well aware of this. The Tigers have been on the move looking for defensive tackles since the transfer portal opened. They have hosted their share of visitors. They pulled in one defensive tackle in Gio Paez, but you're looking to add at least one more, if not two more. And right now, LSU is hosting a visitor via the transfer portal. It is TCU transfer Damonic. I'm not exactly sure how we're pronouncing it. Either way, Williams is a big one. This is the most high-profile visitor that LSU has brought in. He's been at TCU for 2 years, started every game there at defensive tackle for a couple of years. He's already taken visits to Oklahoma and Texas in this cycle, was slated to go visit Colorado. That has not happened. LSU was supposed to be a little bit down the road. Now instead he's there making that visit right now. And we'll see if LSU can edge out Texas here for Damonic Williams. I think if you could find a way to make this happen, it goes a long way at shoring up your defense, for lack of a better term. What they've got right now simply will not work from a talent perspective, in my opinion. I just don't think that you can go out there with this group. We know that they've been in the market. Williams makes a ton of sense. This is one of the best players in the Big 12 the last couple of years. As a true freshman, he was a true freshman All-American by College Football News and 247 Sports. This past season, honorable mention Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year, and honorable mention All Big 12. He's started 27 straight games. You're talking about a guy who had 33 tackles, had 5 tackles for loss, had 3 sacks. Defensive tackle is not necessarily a position that generates a lot of statistics. You're meant to be either disruptive or occupying at defensive tackle. You either are supposed to get in there and blow the play up so that somebody else can come in and clean it up, or you occupy a couple of linemen and let your linebackers roam and make plays. And by all accounts, Williams has done that excellently well for a couple of years. He's 6'2". He weighs 325 pounds. He's what LSU needs, quite frankly. Paez is more of a project. That's a guy you've brought in from Wisconsin who played more on the edge in a different front, and he's going to try to add a little bit of weight and play tackle for you. You've brought in guys who have been, kind of journeymen and haven't played a ton. I realize the Big 12 is not the SEC. I get it. That doesn't mean that everybody that TCU dresses out can't help at all. Jarek Bernard-Converse was just fine coming from the Big 12. Now, I realize that you thought you had the same thing in Deuce Chestnut, and that didn't work out, but this feels like a really, really important push. And, Texas is tough to compete against at this point. They've got a lot of money, and there's a lot of buzz, and he's a Texas kid. So we'll see how that shakes out, but LSU hopefully can find a way to get this done. I think there's a way. I'm going to try to press this and see if I can hear them pronounce this name. Let's see. All right, that's me. I don't want to hear that. Let's see. Because I'm curious how he pronounces his name, and I've got this earbuds thing here. So let's see. It's just Dominic. All right, yeah, just Dominic. Okay. Shout out TCU Sports Information for having pronunciations right there on the ready. Dominic. So it's spelled with a D-A-M-O-N-I-C, but it's just Dominic Williams. So I would change my tune about LSU's football team if they could bring him in. It sounds ridiculous to boil things down to one position, and I don't think the team can be boiled down to one position, but it's such a glaring issue on an otherwise solid roster that has kind of been turned over the last 2 years, that to have him come in, I think, can solidify things. And then I feel a little bit better about Jacoby and Guillory coming in. You feel a little bit better about the role that Gio Paez takes on. You feel a little bit better about the role Jalen Lee takes on. I think if you bring him in, he becomes your best defensive tackle, and everybody else kind of falls in line. If you've got a defense that is out there and has Jacoby and Guillory as your best interior defensive player, like that to me is not necessarily indicative of an LSU championship level defense. If you back him up to second as a fifth-year player, it just feels a lot more palatable. So I don't know when this decision is expected to come down. I don't know if he's going to take that visit to Colorado. I don't know where else he may go. But this is a huge couple of days for LSU with Damonic Williams to try to make an impression and to try to get him on board. Like, this pitch is really easy from a football perspective. Now, I don't know what the NIL side of things looks like, and that's for behind closed doors conversations. I can't speculate on who's got an offer here or what needs to happen here. Like, that's all behind the curtains. But as far as the black and white stuff that we can all see, which is the type of player, the production he's had, and the need on LSU's roster and the fit, like, you won't find a better one. He can't find more obvious playing time at a quality program than he could at LSU. It's not like they're asking him to move across the country like they did Gio Paez. This is a kid from right down the road who's been in Fort Worth for a couple years. This is a really obvious fit. I have no idea how likely or unlikely it is that LSU can pull him in. But if you can do that and then potentially go up to Michigan State and score another defensive tackle, all of a sudden I can start listening to reasonable minds debate whether or not LSU can make it to the playoff. If you don't pull either one of these two guys in, it's hard for me to make it a realistic case that LSU could win enough games to make the new playoff. You pull in two guys who have started for 2 seasons at TCU and Michigan State to come in and add them to the guys that you've already got and then supplement some young talent that comes in for a few snaps. I can have that conversation. We can make that work. It's that time of year for wild optimism. But my wild optimism is going to be really constrained without defensive tackles showing up and committing and being in the mix. Hopefully Damonic Williams is next for LSU, but there's no indication right now as to when that could or will happen. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.